So we are at the ceremony now, and it's time for the individual awards. And we're going to start with the best libero. And this award is going to be presented by Mr. Alberto Brandi, the Mediaset Premium Director. And it is Vakıfbank's Gizem Örge, who is the best libero. Some consolation for losing out in the final, although scant consolation, I'm sure. She's just about mustering up a smile there. In her 4th season with Vakıf, it's her first major tournament accolade as far as a best libero is concerned, and that will be mightily pleasing for her, having lived in the shadow of the player who now plies her trade at Fenerbahçe in the libero's position. Next out will be Mr. Roman Stanislavov, the CEV European Cups Commission President. He makes his way ready to present this award, which will go to the second best middle blocker. And at this tournament, that accolade goes to Jovana Stevanović of Pomì Casalmaggiore. The 23-year-old in her 3rd season with Pomì. And I bet that she didn't believe when she moved to this club how fast the curve of success would be. 1 season to settle in, 1 season to win the Italian League, and now a further season to win the Champions League. The next award to be made will be presented by Mr. Antonio Rossi, the sports assessor of Lombardia, which is the region that we are currently in, of course. The winner of the Best Middle Blocker Award going to Erdem Dündar in her 8th season with Fenerbahçe. She's been through the roller coaster ride that the club has experienced after winning in 2012 in the Champions League in Baku. They were then disqualified from Champions League volleyball. Quite a comeback had to be made by the club, and that was probably crowned with their success by winning the Turkish League. They are currently still on point to perhaps do a double and win the Turkish League again this season. That competition gets back underway on Friday with the top 4 facing off against each other over the following 2 weekends, as they try and pick up as much as they can, as many points as they can, to see who emerges victorious. Vakıfbank, of course, will also be heading back into that competition. Mr. Filippo Bongiovanni, the mayor of Casalmaggiore, is the next man to make an award, and this award will be going to the second best outside spiker, and that award will be presented to Kimberly Hill of the United States of America and Vakıfbank. In her 1st season playing with Vakıfbank, Kim Hill has made quite an impression. She made quite an impression in the semi-finals coming off the bench, but just not quite able to back it up with as impressive a performance in the final. A lot of that has to go down to the level of performance that we saw from Pomì Casalmaggiore. Well, she's got a photo face and then a look of real surprise thereafter. There's the photo face. And there's the apologetic look as she makes her way in to join the other honoured players here. Kim Hill seems very keen to be leaving. As we are joined by Mr. Gianluca Galimberti, the Mayor of Cremona. And this will be to present the award for Best Outside Spiker. And, well, she is one of the best players in the world, full stop. Kim Young-Yun, the Korean superstar who has played now for 5 seasons with Fenerbahçe, unable to produce the MVP performance that she saw in Baku in 2012 when Fenerbahçe won this award, but she is still presented as the best outside spiker at the Final Four here in Montichiari. So 3 more awards still to be made for the individuals. The best opposite, the best setter, and the most valuable player. They're going to be popular awards as well, I can tell you. Mr. Konstantino Vaja of the Pomì company, the sponsors of Pomì Casalmaggiore, awarding the prize for the best opposite, and that goes to the German international Maggie Kozuch. So another roar goes up in the PalaGeorge. Played in the Venendo Yamame Bustorazizio team that finished with the bronze medal in Istanbul back in 2013. But really seems to be enjoying herself now that she's moved back to Italy and playing for Pomì Casalmaggiore. She has had quite a year. Next out to make the award, Mr. Tanju Kaya of the Administrative Services Group EVP. And he will be making the award for the best setter. And it's Carli Lloyd of Pomì Casalmaggiore, the American international. Had a quite outstanding Final Four. She's had an outstanding season as well. So Carli Lloyd picking up another award to go with her swelling trophy cabinet. Well, the MVP award, which will be presented by Mr. Alexander Boricic, the CEV president. And this award will go for the 2nd time in a career to the same player. Francesca Piccinini was the driving force behind Pommi's acceleration through to the title here. She celebrates with her teammates. It has been a hugely emotional few days for Francesca Piccinini. In tears at the end of the match. She's in tears again now. Six Champions League titles. the stalwart of the Bergamo side that dominated the competition. She was there for 12 years, winning 5 titles with them. And she now picks up another title here. So the individual awards dealt with 4, going the way of Pomì, Casalmaggiore, 2 to Fenerbahçe and 2 to Vakıfbank. So the players take their camera call, and now they must make their way back to their teams before they will come back out again. Francesca Piccinini leading the dance. So the preparation for the final podium now to be made. So Fenerbahçe, the first team out onto the podium. Taking up that third step. They've been there before, of course. Back in 2011 when Vakıfbank won the title, Fenerbahçe were the host club on that occasion. Vakıfbank winning their first title by defeating Rabita Baku in Istanbul. Turkish teams who have dominated this competition. Ever since that victory for Vakıfbank back in 2011, with the one exception, Dinamo Kazan defeating Vakıfbank in Baku in 2014, but they have been the team that have led the way alongside Eczacıbaşı, the champions last year, Fenerbahçe and Galatasaray as well. But it is not to be for the Turkish teams in 2016, because the Italians are back in town and Pomì, Casalmaggiore are the team who will stand atop the highest podium. Led out by their skipper, Valentina Terozzi. Those scenes from moments ago when Pomì Casalmaggiore defeated Vakıfbank 3-0 in the final. A hard moment for Gözde Kirdağ to take. But with Massimo Babalini at their side, the future of Italian club volleyball is looking very healthy indeed. All three coaches hail from Italy. Giovanni Guidetti in charge of Vakıfbank, of course, and Marcello Abbondanza, the man in charge at Fenerbahçe. All of them Italians, but it is the Italian coaching the Italian team who has outsmarted them all on this occasion. So, Mr. Renato Arena, the CEV Senior Vice President, and Mr. Tanju Kaya, the Administrative Services Group EVP President, the two men who will present the bronze medals first. Fenerbahçe with a squad that looked as though it could well cause a lot of problems. The likes of Babette Pollen, who had a superb game today. Kim just not quite on the money when it came to that opening match up against Vakıfbank, where they were outplayed. Mihajlović also struggled to find her best form. Dilik collects her medal. Mihajlović collects hers. Kristaditsen, the United States international, will be celebrating with her compatriots, I'm sure, tonight. Giba Meyer and Lloyd on the winning side. Kim Hill, a runner-up. Lucia Bassetti didn't have the most memorable of tournaments. And a celebration as well for Skorupa of Poland as Marcello Abbondanza receives his medal. Those third place medals as Fenerbahçe announce themselves back on the highest table of European volleyball. Now to present the second place medals, Mr. Özkan Mutlugil, the CEV Vice President and Treasurer, will be joined by Hakan Atis, the Denizbank CEO. Disappointment for Vakıfbank as their skipper Gözde Kirdağ has to settle for second place on this occasion. Gizem has been honoured as the best libero of the tournament. Robin de Cruyff had a superb showing in the final, but just couldn't quite get her fellow players to raise their level. Kubra Akman and Kaglakin, along with Melis, who played a bit part in the final. Seda not playing her part today. Lonika Slodges into double figures points-wise, but unable to make the impact she would have hoped in that final. Naz, not the best setter on this occasion. Anna Buis and Sheila both called upon in the latter stages of that three-set encounter, but unable to turn the fortunes around of Vakıfbank. Elena Rasic and Kimberly Hill both had decent performances. Cansu Çetin not present in either of the matches. And Giovanni Guidetti knows that it just wasn't to be on this occasion. They will turn their attention back to the Turkish League. The final four of the Turkish League, a league system played between the top four sides, gets underway next Friday. They play Fenerbahçe again on Sunday, a week today. And then they will have a couple of weeks off before playing once more. But the disappointment clear to see with the lack of emotion being currently shown on Giovanni Guidetti's face. Mr. Carlo Magri, the Italian National Federation President, Mr. Massimo Boselli, President of Pomì Casalmaggiore, will be awarding the first place medals here. And the first to receive one, Valentina Tirozzi, Lucia Bacci, picking up her second Champions League medal, 1-1 with Bergamo in the past. Carli Lloyd celebrates as well, along with Immacolata Ceresi, Chiara Cecinetto. Mariana Ferrara was on the bench, Lauren Gibbermeyer. And next to her, Carlotta Cambi. Francesca Piccinini collects her medal as well, alongside Rosella Olivotto. Maggie Kozuch, the next in line, and Jovana Stevanović. Teresa Rossi, the final player to pick up a medal, and Massimo Babeloni, their coach, celebrating the success. Pomì Casalmaggiore, Champions League winners 2016, and all that remains now is for Mr. Alexander Boricic and Hakan Atis of CEV President and Denizbank CEO to come across and present the trophy. Captain Valentina Tirozzi comes into the middle, collects the trophy, and now prepares to hoist it aloft. A jet of gold. Mr. Massimo Boselli stands in the midst of it as president of Pomì Casalmaggiore. They are champions in 2016, the first time in 12 years that the host club have won the Champions League. Tenerife, the last to do it back in 2004. It is a huge moment for this club in their debut season in the Champions League, led by Valentina Tirozzi, and with the experienced shoulders of Francesca Piccinini guiding them through, they become champions in 2016. It concludes another thrilling series of matches played here in the CEV Denizbank Volleyball Champions League for women. In a week's time we will return to Krakow in Poland to see if anyone can stop Russia's domination of the men's event, on this occasion in the shape of Zenit Kazan, or whether perhaps Italy will be celebrating a duo of Champions League victories. They have one in the bag. Pomì Casalmaggiore, the Pink Angels, champions in 2016 in the women's event. Join us in a week's time to see if they can make it to when their two sides take place in the men's Final Four. From us here in Montichiari, it's goodbye.